Denise, you want to come up here for a second? I mean, that doesn't put us in any difficulties, does it, with working with META in the meantime?
Councilwoman Gussie, I think we should be okay. We can bring this back at a later date.
Well, it's scheduled to be on the first meeting in September, so for the presentation.
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a motion to basically pull 9.1. We'll make it to the first item in the regular agenda, at which point I think we'll flip it to you, Councilwoman Gussie, to make a suggestion on tabling it from there.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. So taking off 9.1. Perfect. Anything else this time? Okay, seeing no one, we'll go ahead and move along the agenda here. Item 3.2, we're going to hear reports on meetings and or conferences attended by the council. Council, time is yours. Yes, Councilwoman Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. So, as many of you know, Saturday was a candidate debate forum. What a phenomenal event that was, because we had an opportunity to see all candidates running for all positions. Well, all candidates that came. There were a few that didn't show, but what a great event. So I just wanted to mention that, and it's available online. And I think that that's value added to our citizens to go and watch it, because especially for city council, but all the other positions, you'll learn a lot about each of the candidates. And I think it's worth the investment. Now, it is an investment of time unless you skip directly to the end where the city council portion is. But it's an investment well worth it. So I encourage all the citizens to do that. And I think you can find that online. And then today I had the honor of attending the MAG Economic Development meeting, committee meeting, and learned some really cool stuff. You know, one of the coolest things was what they call a sky bridge, which is an interesting avenue through via the Mesa Airport in making imports and exports much easier between us and Latin America. Really phenomenal, and I hope one day we have a company that can utilize that service, because it's pretty innovative how they've made it so that you can take a 3-week import-export experience down to 2 days, or sometimes even less. So really pretty cool. And then GPIC spoke, and he spoke about a lot of things, but one of the things that he spoke of was how the East Valley, particularly, and he picked out Queen Creek and Maricopa, and then also the West Valley, are going to be primo locations in the next 10 years for development. And so we got to keep working hard to make sure our infrastructure is ready for that, because that's the only place where real land is going to be available. So looking forward to that, but we have to keep working hard to make sure our infrastructure is there. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you much. Who else? Yes, Councilwoman Gussie.
I had the opportunity to attend an event in Maricopa County. It's a veteran suicide prevention workshop, and I'm hoping to bring it here to Maricopa. 20 veterans are committing suicide on a daily basis. We need to stop that, and in order to stop that either here in Maricopa or everywhere is to make sure we bring some awareness. So I'm hoping to bring that workshop here to Maricopa, and more information to follow.
Great, thank you very much. Who else? Vice Mayor Chapados.
Thank you, Mayor. On July 26th, I attended an Emergency Operations Center open house. This was an event designed to show us what our EOC would do and look like when it was activated, if it was needed. So I want to just thank our police department and fire department and everybody on the staff level that participated in that. It was an eye-opening experience, and I hope we never have to activate it, but I know that we're capable if we do. On the 4th, I also attended the candidate forum. I didn't stay for the whole 12 and a half hours, 14 hours, whatever it was. The only thing I can say that at times I felt it most appropriate that we were in a performing arts center. And I'll just leave my comment at that. But I wanted to thank all of our council candidates. I thought that there was some good answers. I encourage people to ask more questions, hard questions, specific point-blank questions, because the decisions you make on this local level are going to impact you for the next 4 years. The other thing I was able to attend is Saturday there was also a water drive for our first responders. It was a perfect storm of things that shouldn't happen on a Saturday when people are trying to move through your city. They were repaving 347. There was a candidate forum that was taking a lot of people out of the circulation, but I wanted to reach out to anybody in Maricopa that if you do have a chance, pick up a case of water, donate it to any fire station or to our fire admin building. This is for our first responders. They need that as part of their rehab when they're working a scene, and it's vitally important. We didn't get less than half of the cases we got last year. Last year we did over 300. This year we did just over 100. So please pick up a case of water. You can do that any time of the year. They're always out there doing stuff on our behalf, so it's a good way to help them rehab. So that's it for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. Who else? Anyone else this time? Okay, seeing no one, we'll go ahead and move on. Item 3.3, the mayor and city council shall hear a presentation on the Urban Land Institute, or ULI, Arizona Technical Assistance Program, AZTAP. So Denise, it's all you.
Good evening, everyone. Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council, per the 2018 council adopted Economic Development Strategic Plan, goal 2 was, or is, to invest in infrastructure, quality of life, and other improvements that will assure Maricopa's ability to successfully compete for, retain, recruit, and grow firms and quality jobs in the targeted sectors. Action item D is to commit to effectively and expeditiously define Maricopa's primary core. The recommendation in the strategic plan was to engage with the Urban Land Institute. So this evening we have Amy Malloy, who serves as a chair on the Arizona District Council's Arizona Technical Assistance Panel with ULI. That's a mouthful, very big title. But Ms. Malloy, the organization is volunteer-based, and Ms. Malloy is actually working with the Peterson Group. She manages and oversees development activity throughout Arizona. Her past experience includes 10 years with Macerich. She also was with Evergreen, and she's also one of our very own. She started her career in economic development working with the city of Apache Junction. So I'll turn it over to Amy Malloy to tell us.
For the Urban Land Institute of Arizona, and I'm going to just kind of walk you through tonight has done and give you a sample of some of the panels that we've hosted. Sector individuals and public sector individuals throughout the entire Americas and internationally as well. And they focus on issues that have faced local government, really. How do you, in a redevelopment, when you have land policy problems, how do you address them collectively to do what I always say is the most important, which is community development, not just commercial development. So, the highest and best use of development of these parcels of land, and how can we, and what is best for these communities. And globally, there's over 42,000. So specifically, there's many different groups in Urban Land Institute. We have a couple, we call them outreach committees. One of these is the Technical Assistance Panel, or we like to call it the TAP, or the ASTAP, Arizona Technical Assistance Panel. And this is really an interesting experience. It basically, we work with the community who has some sort of issue that they want to help get clarity on from an outside group. And then what we do is help them synthesize those issues into a series of questions. You know, what's the best and highest marketing strategy for a piece of land? What kind of streetscape improvements need to happen? What kind of infrastructure needs to be advanced or encouraged? What's lacking in an area? And then what are the tools, financial and otherwise, to help communities accomplish those goals? And the panel is made up of all volunteers. Most of them are within the membership, but a lot of them are not, and or get pulled from outside Arizona. I was lucky enough to be assisting with a panel for the city of Glendale last year, and the moderator of the panel was the former chair of Urban Land Institute nationally, and she was in Colorado, and her focus was on national transit-oriented development. So she came in, flew in, and was participatory in this panel, which was great and very interesting perspective. But the panel will then convene for a day, and all panelists volunteer their time to review the materials provided by the community, to make recommendations, and then they basically have a discussion about the issues at hand and try and come to some resolution of low-hanging fruit, long-range opportunities, and challenges and opportunities to get there. And then that's provided in a report towards the end, in the oncoming months. So where we are here in the process with the city of Maricopa is we've received the application from the host community, which is you. We've had all the initial meetings to kind of vet issues and expectations. We've developed the scope, schedule, and budget, and we are now, and developed the questions. And I don't want to, the questions are singularly important, and we were lucky enough to have staff that you guys have here, like Denise, and that how to finance, how to develop it, and who are partners that could be brought to the table to help assist that. So we're really excited to now launch on to selecting the panelists. We have a short list that we've put together, and we have a subcommittee of the committee. I think that's how everything always gets done. So we're gonna have our subcommittee meeting tomorrow afternoon to walk through the panelists and start outreaching and locking everyone down. And then what we most likely will do is on the day of the panel on September 27th, we'll have a tour as part of that. And since it's a pretty focused area for City Center, my hope is we'll expand that a little bit to show a lot of the good development that's been happening in the city. because there's a lot of stuff happening, and I don't think, I have had the good fortune to be out here recently, but I don't think a lot of people in commercial real estate understand what a hot market, what a burgeoning market this is. So one of the best unintended benefits of this panel is you bring in experts in their field to see your city for a day and to feel and get an understanding of your city for the weeks before as they go through all this packet. So we've had a lot of real estate professionals come back and say, like, we want to encourage people to do development. They can't get out of their own way. One of the things, we were in the town of Carefree a couple years ago, and they kind of knew what they needed to do, but they had such political discord over it that there were members of, and I think I maybe even told you this, Vice Mayor, there were members of the council who refused to sit next to each other at the beginning of the day. And after the lunch break, everybody's standing in the middle of the room talking. Like, I actually think we might be able to do, because they realized the greater good. They were like, wait a second, I'm gonna put down the fact that I was mad at your neighbor 10 years ago for whatever, or whatever it is, and that's what happens in communities sometimes. Phoenix, we've been attempting to do for District 5 and District 4 and District 5 a complete analysis of their light rail line on Camelback Corridor. It's incredibly politically charged. Obviously, there's a bunch of open seats in City of Phoenix City Council, which I'm sure you guys are well aware is happening statewide. And we just had a call earlier this week because they're like, guess what? Now everybody wants to do it. So that'll be difficult in a different way. So I think we've talked about all this. I don't want to have to go through all of these details with you, but what we are looking forward to providing the city of Maricopa is a really robust conversation, very well researched with professionals in these specific categories that your city's worked out as issues for us. And we're working hard to do that. This isn't my day job. I was, joking with the mayor before the meeting that, I don't get paid to come up here and be able to do this chair job, as I'm sure many of you can feel that hardship, but there is a benefit because this is where the work is done. The work is done in the local communities, and that does resonate when you're doing development. It does make a difference to see what people really want in their communities and what they're really struggling to try and achieve. So it gives me context to go do my day job, which I appreciate. And you guys also got me out of picking my crazy new puppy up from doggy day camp tonight. So I will come every night if need be. So that's basically it. We're excited. You guys can continue to be a part of the panel for as little or as long as you want afterwards. We stay in touch with people from the Metro Center panel in Phoenix all the time, and we went back down to Bisbee and talked to some people in their development coalition down there with some follow-up. So we're happy to continue to stay a part of it. There'll be a report that will be provided to you that will synthesize all the findings, and hopefully the key thing is, like, these are real estate professionals, so it's typically not long-winded. It's, here are the critical path items, here's our recommendations, take it or leave it. Because we don't want to just put another plan for you guys. You've done robust study and have lots of plans, and we don't want to redo those or rework those. So this will be, I think, much more actionable items that hopefully will have utility for you. So that's basically it. I'm happy to answer any specific questions you might have, and just again, thank you, and thank Denise for allowing us the opportunity to come here, and we're excited to be back on September 27th. So.
Thank you very much, Amy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Council, questions for Amy at this time? Councilmember Brown.
Amy, excellent presentation.
Thank you.
What exactly are you doing in Fountain Hills?
In Fountain Hills, oh gosh. They were looking at doing a redevelopment of their downtown and a rezoning, and they had two very divergent plans of what they wanted to do, and I think we provided them, in some cases, we have to tell the community, you're pushing a rope. So sometimes it's a little bit of a reality check. So I think what we told them is, there's a lot of other things you need to do before you can actualize, this downtown urban redevelopment project. So that was I think part of, and in some cases that's a relief, because you can get back to basics then as a community and figure out what you need to do with housing, what you need to do to improve road infrastructure. Things that I think you guys, who are a very forward-thinking community, probably have already done. So I think that was where the communication was in Fountain Hills.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else this time have questions for Amy? I know Amy, we saw Amy at ICSC when we visited KC, who formerly the Vintage Partners, who is with Peterson Group now, and so we're very thankful for those partnerships as you work to continue to develop areas in our city. But at the same time, with this, I think that anytime we can take basically a vision and put it into some actionable items, while simultaneously marketing, our wares to the general commercial society, i.e., retail. I think that's a good thing for us. So we appreciate your help and appreciate all you're going to help us do and accomplish. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Amy. Well, that completes our work session at this time. And so I don't believe we have any e-sessions for tonight, but council, you are free to hang out for the next 30 minutes until we start the next session. But with that, can I have a motion to adjourn, please? Is there a second? Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. We'll reconvene in 30 minutes.
Why does this say Cosmo? Let's restart. Let's try it. Stop YouTube.
Go ahead and say to the screen.